Welcome back everyone. In today's News Daily video, I'm going to discuss our opponents in this year's Champions League quarterfinal against Real Madrid. A massive tie. Do we have what it takes to get the win over Madrid again and progress to the semi-finals of the Champions League? Moving on, I'll be discussing all the latest bidding news coming out. We have more new names coming out in regards to people looking to dip their toes in and try to buy the club. We know today is the deadline for official bids to be placed because the club are looking to sell as quickly as possible to still stay solvent. So there's a ton of things to break down and discuss today. Hope you guys enjoy. Smash the like button. But before we get into anything, I need to get one big plug out of the way first. Today's video is brought to you by Spitch. Spitch is the ultimate fantasy manager app game which allows you to test your managerial skills, ability, knowledge and love for the game, where every single match day you create and build a team, compete against other competitors, and you can win up to a share of 70,000 a week, of course, if you decide to bet and put a little money into your matchday squads. And if not, there's no pressure to do so. You can try Spitch out for free and still compete in many free competitions and tournaments on the app. But currently, you guys, they have an amazing prize giveaway draw right now. I'm going to show you exactly what you have to do to enter, where you can win prizes ranging from €100 and €50 gift vouchers, other prizes including winning the Apple Series 7 watch as well too, plus many other prizes as well. And the great thing is, you guys, once you register and download the app, you get to enter this competition for the prize giveaway absolutely for free. It's very easy to do so. As you guys can see on screen beside me, you click on that top left corner there for the free competition. And once you get to the screen, of course, create and build your own lineup. So I'm going to go to my game to show you the lineup that I'm using for this matchday week. As you guys can see, Rafinha, Son, Coutinho and others as well too. So I'm hoping that I can get a little bit of luck myself this week. But as I'm saying, you guys, now is the perfect time to try out Spitch. You know, they're friends of the channel. It's a great app. It's free to download, and you'll find a link below in the description right below. So you guys, without wasting any more time, getting back to the video. So right now, we start with the first story, and I think it's only right that we begin this video by discussing this year's quarterfinal opponents, Real Madrid. Essentially, this is going to be the rematch from last season's semi-final tie, in which, for me, I thought we just absolutely outplayed Real Madrid and deservedly went through to the finals. But regardless, you guys, let's talk details of the game. The first leg will kick off on the 6th of April this month. The second leg would take place between the 12th and the 13th, and we're playing the first leg at home, with the second leg being played in the Bernabeu. So hopefully there'll be an opportunity for fans to be able to, you know, attend the game, go to the stadium. I know last season, of course, we didn't seem to lose any focus on having any fans in the stadium. However, I think right now with everything that's happening with the club, that type of support and unity is only going to help galvanize and increase the confidence of the team even more. So let's hope that for a big, momentous game like this, fans will be able to attend the game. Regardless, you guys, the winners of the quarterfinal will play the winners between Man City and Atletico Madrid. Now, I am praying to the footballing gods that Atleti can just blag a win somehow, but I'm not really expecting that to be the case. I know that Atleti really struggle against teams that are very comfortable in playing in front of them, shifting their blocks, keeping possession of the ball, and doing everything opposite to how Man United decided to play against them. So, you know, it's going to be very difficult to retain the Champions League. But honestly, you guys, I look at the squad, the players and how we play, and I feel like we can take on any team currently, especially with a manager like Thomas Tuchel just, you know, controlling the team at this point in time. It gives us like an additional tactical advantage in big games like this. But you know, I do have to say, part of me is slightly feeling a bit confident. Forget the history, the record. Of course, we are unbeaten against Real Madrid. We played against them 5 times now. We played against them in the 70s and 90s, and of course, recently, you know, in the 2000s as well. And they haven't had much success or joy against us. Last season in the Champions League, we saw one of the best individual performances I've seen for a long time from N'Golo Kante, who rightfully won the Man of the Match awards in both legs of that tie, single-handedly destroying the midfield of Kroos, Modric, Casemiro. And, you know, if we have any hopes of retaining the Champions League this season, I think just making sure we can keep Kante fully 100% fit is going to be the key thing here. absolutely key. No more half-fit Kantes where he needs a few more games to get back to full speed. We have to protect him because in these big games of magnitude like this, he makes a difference. And I think another player too that has like a similar effect to the team is going to be Reece James, because you know, what he brings down that right-hand side with his creativity, his crossing, and of course his incredible 1v1 defending as well too. You know, we can't afford to miss out on players like this. So let's hope that we're able to keep our key guys fully fresh and fully fit. But considering the form we're seeing now with some of our attacking players like your ZX, your Pulisic, your Kai Havertz's, I'm feeling optimistic about our chances again. And I think for me, the one amazing thing we did to actually win that semi-final tie against them, I think they could not cope with, was our intensity and our pressing. I think we're stronger than Real Madrid. We're fitter than them. We can press them in their own half. We forced them to a lot of counter-attacks in that second leg game in particular. And we created quite a few amazing chances where the game easily could have been more than 2-0 in that second leg. So right now, if I'm a Chelsea squad, I'm feeling optimistic. And if I'm Real Madrid, I'm feeling a bit nervous because you know exactly how easily beaten you were in that second leg semi-final. And even though players like Benzema and Vinicius Junior are on form, listen, you guys, these same players were on form last season as well too. Of course, Vinny is doing things to a different level this season. However, you know, with our defense, with how we play as a team as well too, we are one of the most difficult teams to come up against in the Champions League. And any team playing against us will rightfully be scared and rightfully be nervous. So we've got a big opportunity here, you guys, to just continue our amazing unbeaten records against Real Madrid. Like the fact that we can even say that we're unbeaten against Real Madrid for me is just, I just love to say it as a fan, you know what I mean? And let's hope that the team continues to march on when we play against them literally in like, what, 2-3 weeks time. So you guys, that is quarterfinal talk out of the way. Let's now move on to the other big stories surrounding new people entertaining bids in hopes of owning and running Chelsea Football Club. So this news came literally out from nowhere, but John Terry is leading a consortium alongside former women's player Claire Rafferty in hopes to plan a bid for 10% of Chelsea Football Club. Their plan is to have fans at the heart of the club. They are fronting a 250 million consortium called True Blue, and they're promising a high-tech approach to ownership, allowing fans, players, former players, staff and current players as well to essentially buy fan tokens up to the value of £100 in exchange for voting rights. So it's a bit interesting using Web 3.0 to, you know, find a way for fans to have like proper ownership of the club and have more of a say. It's all interesting developments right now, but you know, True Blue of course has other investors behind the scenes, and one of those investors is Tory party donor David Mellor, who's received actually a ton of favorable government contracts during the pandemic. You know, he's received up to like 164 million when it came to PPE contracts, and he did benefit from the very controversial VIP lane, which essentially, you know, just allows influential people to just circumvent protocols and kind of do what they want. And we know how successful all these companies were when it came to receiving the contracts with PPE. But regardless, you know, it's interesting. There's a lot of like Tory influence when it comes to, you know, people and candidates looking to, you know, get ownership of the club. I've got some indifferent thoughts on that personally, but I just want to like stick to the news story and just report on that, to be honest with you. But you know, I'm a bit unsure whether Terry's back consortium is the best course of action. Maybe I'm still a bit seething from his whole like Bored Ape type of business endeavor he went on, which of course did not really have much success whatsoever, and to involve the use of NFTs again, it makes me question like what is the ultimate goals at hand really. I think it's too easy to just say things like, oh, we have the fans' interests at heart. Very easy to make token gestures and comments like that and literally doing nothing to support those claims whatsoever. So I'm not really seeing anything that gives me much confidence when it comes to that. But you know, I do get confidence though from, you know, the biggest Chelsea group right now, and that is the Chelsea Supporters Trust. Essentially, they're calling for a golden share to be implemented in light of all these government sanctions facing the club. And essentially, the golden share would allow for fans to be able to have the power to veto on issues surrounding like club heritage, things like badges, colours, you know, many things of that nature as well. And I always like the idea of fans fans having more of a say when it comes to running of our football club. I think that's very important. Chelsea Trust did release a statement saying the sale of Chelsea FC represents a fantastic opportunity for the government to show that they are actually serious about improving football governance for the benefit of supporters, and obviously not just for the benefit of rich and powerful investors. So, time will tell with that. Now, today we got more news confirming other interested consortiums and groups looking to, of course, bids to buy the football club. And this one came today from CMP Sports Group and Hana Financial Group, which is a South Korean company, and they're owned by CEO Catalina Lim. Here's exactly what she had to say about the news. She says, "We are preparing our bids. There has never been investment into top tier football club made by a South Korean capital before. It's time for a change. For companies that engage in marketing through sports, CMP Sports will continue to help expand its brand base in the European market with the networking and know-how unique to CMP Sports. It will serve as a bridgehead for domestic prospects to enter the European League and succeed. We promise to always be with you as a company that completes success together as reliable advisor with trust and confidence. This is a joint bid being made from both companies." So, of course, it's very exciting, I guess, to know just how many powerful corporations and people really see the value in buying the football club. What's that going to mean for our future? What type of strategies are they going to implement, and are they going to benefit all of us? For a lot of these questions, we're not going to have the answers until much later into the future. But I'm just really hoping that with all these various themes, people looking to bid for the club, that we honestly find the best possible person to sell to. And it seems, interestingly enough, that the actual front runner to buy the club is Todd Boehly and his group at this point in time. Again, they seem to be adding so many influential people to their consortium group right now. Today it was announced that they signed up with Clear Lake Capital to add to their consortium. Clear Lake, they manage roughly up to $60 billion worth of assets, and Boehly, it's been said, is actually overfunded at this point in time when it comes to making his bid for the club. And essentially this proves the credibility that he has. Of course, we have the capital and the money literally right here with him that can be used and invested into the club, and there's essentially saying that with the money generated, they'll be able to provide long-term funding for Chelsea Football Club. That's going to include redevelopment of the stadium and funding for the academy and the women's team as well too. I'm guessing if you're smart, you're definitely looking to invest into the academy for sure, knowing the fact that if you can produce lots of top 4 Prem class players for free, essentially, I mean, that's just going to make your business run even more smoother in the long term. We did get more information surrounding the Saudi media group. Of course, a lot of the fan base is very, very excited. It'd be quite hard not to be excited just due to the ridiculous resources at hand that we'd have, and I guess seeing prior history as well too of other clubs that have benefited from Saudi investment to their clubs as well too. Essentially, after Boris Johnson kind of just made everything cool and calm, saying that Saudi investment is important in the country, you'd imagine that maybe it wouldn't be too difficult for them to be able to pass all the required protocols and documentations needed before they bought the club. However, reports are coming out suggesting otherwise. And I guess ultimately, even though the Saudi media group have said many a time and proven that they have no direct ties to the Saudi prince, it's actually quite hard to really prove that though. And I guess there's some fears from some groups suggesting that if another club is bought by the Saudis, that means owning Chelsea potentially and Newcastle, he could have influence of 10% of the Premier League, which does kind of worry quite a few people. Now, Matt Law did report that due to the time constraints we have and due to the fact that we must sell the club as quickly as possible, it could just take too long if an investigation was taking place to really make sure that the Saudi media group is true to their words, and there'd be no future ramifications to come from any of their ownership. And it just seems like due to time constraints, that could be a bit of an iffy thing to do. However, crazy things have happened and money does talk in the Premier League. So we're getting closer and closer to finding out who could be our new owners to take over Roman Abramovich. We know the deadline is later today. I'm very curious to see who the final people are going to be considered for this bid, and I'm sure we all are at this point in time. And when that news comes out, of course, expect to hear it on Blue Lions TV. So you guys, on that note, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.